Well, I don't know if you knew this, but today was or this week really, was the trial of Ryan Routh, the guy that was on the Trump golf course behind a bunch of ceramic tiles. I don't remember if it was actual body armor or ceramic tiles. Um, Perhaps the only, I don't know who's weirder. Ryan Routh, who was like recruiting Ukrainian soldiers, Americans to go over to fight in Ukraine or whatever, or Thomas Matthew Crooks, who we know nothing about, other than apparently his family never used silverware. I don't know who's more weird, but his trial was going on today, and nobody's covering it because I guess nobody cares because he was defending himself or whatever the case may be. Well, he was just found guilty and had a absolutely shocking outburst in which he tried to leave this planet the moment the guilty verdict was read. We're going to take a look at that. Thanks everyone who has picked up some of my coffee on Amazon, whether it's the blackberries and cream or blueberry cobbler, strawberries, or some of our unflavored stuff or our fall flavors. Once you get it, please come back and go to what you bought and leave a review. You just click on it and scroll down, and then you can write a customer review. It helps a ton, and I'm absolutely hoping that you'll give us a try today. Free overnight shipping, and it's delicious stuff. Let's look at this report here.
As the verdict was read, it appeared to our producers inside the courtroom that Routh tried to stab himself in the neck with a pen. That's what it appeared to look like. Then 4 marshals dragged him out of the courtroom, took his coat off. They then shackled him at the waist and ankles, and then they brought him back into the courtroom. So again, this just in from our producers, as the verdict was being read, Routh tried to hurt himself in the neck with a pen. Now we just saw that emotional reaction from that daughter, and now we know exactly why. So when Routh was brought back into the courtroom, that's when her daughter stood up, started yelling and screaming. She said to her father, "Don't do anything. I'm going to get you out of here." This is what our producers are telling us just into the newsroom. She also screamed many expletives, and that's when we saw her run out of the courtroom. The video that we were seeing just moments ago of her not wanting to speak with the media, her evading the media, and then running off camera.
Well, why would she want to talk to the media? I mean, why would she want to talk to the media anyway? Also, like, why would anyone want, I mean, I guess it's your dad, so you're there to support him. Donald Trump's would-be assassin, Ryan Routh, began trying to take his own life with a pen on Tuesday after being found guilty on all charges related to the September 2024 attempt on the then candidate's life. The chaos unfolded in a Florida courtroom after jurors reached a unanimous verdict in the case. Routh, 59, was caught by authorities during a manhunt in Palm Beach, Florida, last year after Secret Service agents spotted him in some bushes outside one of Trump's golf courses as a Republican played a round of golf. A gun and the camera were found at the scene where Routh fled. After the verdict was read, Routh began jabbing at his neck with a pen. His daughter, Sarah Ellen Routh, also reportedly began screaming expletives in the courtroom before crying and storming out of the building. I mean, what did you think? Did you think this dude was beating the charges? Did you think, I mean, he never even really denied it, right? He never even denied anything about it. Did she think he was beating the charges? I mean, he absolutely did it. Routh was found guilty of an attempted assassination of a major political candidate, felony possession of firearm, ammunition, possession of firearm with an obliterated serial number. He's going to spend his entire life in prison, obviously. Routh faces a maximum of life in prison. His sentencing is expected on December 18th. Trump congratulated Attorney General Pam Bondi and her department after the conviction. The trial was meticulously handled. I would like to thank the judge and the jury for their time, professionalism, and patience. The president said in a statement, "There was an evil man with evil intent, and they caught him." Bondi said the verdict illustrates the Department of Justice's commitment to punishing those who engage in political attacks. The attempted assassination was not the only attack on our president, but an affront to our very nation itself. Reacting to the news during his trip to the United Nations, Trump told reporters, "You can't let things like that happen. Nothing to do with me, but as a president or even a person, you just can't allow it to happen. I just don't ever see it happening to a Republican. I don't see any scenario where a Republican is ever, or I'm sorry, a Democrat is in danger. The Democrats are the ones committing all the crimes, doing all the heinous stuff, having the meltdowns. It's not Republicans." Reacting to the news, the attempt occurred on September 15, 2024, just 9 weeks after Trump survived another attempt on his life. So just 9 weeks after it, right? This guy was riding with Biden, lived in Hawaii, had some sort of construction company, was recruiting people to fight for Ukraine. Just a very weird individual. Routh was spotted by a Secret Service agent who saw the barrel of his Chinese-made SKS rifle sticking out of the bushes near a hole at the Trump International Golf Course. Imagine if he wasn't stupid enough to poke it through the fence, if he just left it flush with the fence. He might have never been spotted. He described the situation as a textbook ambush scenario during the trial and spoke directly to Routh. "I saw you in the bushes. You smiled at me," Furcano said during the trial. Routh then fled the scene after he was shot at and tried to escape the Secret Service. A witness later saw the attempted assassin flee the scene and was able to photograph a vehicle Routh used and was later given to law enforcement. Routh, of course, represented himself at federal trial. What is intent? Why are we here? What is our intent? To love one another? Is this so difficult? He asked at one point during the trial. Well, he tried to take out the president, so I don't really know. According to live coverage of court proceedings, while defending himself, Routh referred to himself as Adolf, Vladimir Putin, Sudan, and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Legal analysts expect Routh to appeal the verdict. Of course he's going to appeal. That's what happens in our legal system. They appeal forever and ever and ever. Here's the lawyers trying to stop him. Courtroom sketch showing Routh attempting to check out early. Absolutely coward behavior. Totally cowardly behavior, of course. What does this mean for justice? Well, I guess it's the end of one. It's the end of one story. We still have a lot in this country to reckon with in terms of the left and their political attacks and their lunacy and their rhetoric. I mean, Jimmy Kimmel's back tonight. Of course, he immediately makes a politically charged post. Now he's showing a post of Norman Lear, of course. Again, the left is not interested in turning down the temperature. The left created people like Ryan Routh. They created the environment. The mainstream media created people like him. I don't know the extent of his injuries, by the way, not immediately known. I have some more information on this, I think. So let me try this here. After this, he was shackled and brought back into the prison. He was dragged. 4 marshals dragged him out of there. Here's the rest of
the verdict was read. Now it is quite. The verdict was being read. Exactly why. So when Routh was brought back into the courtroom, that's when her daughter stood up, started yelling and screaming. She said to her father, "Don't do anything. I'm going to get you out of here." This is what our producers are telling us just into the newsroom. She also screamed many expletives, and that's when we saw her run out of the courtroom.
I wonder if the daughter is also a radical. Important reminder, Ryan Routh is not yet another case of left-wing terror. He drove around with a Biden-Harris sticker on his truck, donated to the Democrats through Act Blue 19 times, and even voted in the 2024 Democratic primary. Today, he was found guilty on all charges for his plot to assassinate President Trump on his golf course. He will spend the rest of his life behind bars, exactly where left-wing terrorists belong. I mean, someone here, to be fair, if Act Blue says 19 times, we don't really know. I mean, was this guy insane? I don't know. Was he radicalized by the mainstream media? Yes, probably, at least in my opinion. Here's a daughter sprinting out of court.
Okay.
I gotta say, we don't really know. Obviously it's emotional. She knows her dad's going away to prison for life. But according to this, 14 hours ago, we don't know if this is true or not, apparently a $162,000 wire transfer to Ryan Routh's daughter just before his arrest. Media silent. Ryan Routh's daughter got 162 grand right before his arrest. Why is nobody talking about this? Well, maybe it was Ryan Routh transferring his money to her. Maybe it was some sort of foreign government. I don't know. But there's a lot, there's a lot to ask. There's a lot still to know. I'm glad we got a quick trial and a quick guilty verdict so this country can move on. I'm hoping that for, in Charlie Kirk's case, he gets, the lunatic that tried to take his life gets a quick trial, and he, his family can move on quickly. But just remember this, if I can wrap up this video, the left has zero interest in turning down the temperature. When they say they want to turn the temperature down, they're really telling their rabid base to turn it up. So stay safe out there, stay alert, and thanks for watching. And may this guy rot in prison for a very long time. Well, for the rest of his life.